All right, what a wonderful time to be alive. We have the home stretch of best ball drafting. There's only a few more days until best ball mania fills. The contest lobby is packed. And on top of that, we now have some week one stuff to draft as well. We're going to take a quick peek at that. And then we're also going to finally put on record, on ink, who are our favorite Scroll the Eff Down candidates for Best Ball Mania. You know, just a few more days left. There are some guys who have now emerged who are sub 5%, sub 1% in some of these cases, who might be on the menu for drafting. So we're each going to share our favorite ones here, and then we will hop in a Best Ball Mania draft. This is Often on the Clock with Pete, John, and Nez. Let's roll it. All right, here we are, fellas. I feel like I wish I had more time, because I feel like we could do like a 3-hour show right now on everything we want to draft, we want to talk about, do first look. But I will say, and then that doesn't even get into the news. Like yesterday, we had so much cut news, which is like fairly impactful with the injury stuff and some of these late round picks. So how are you guys doing? How are you digesting everything we got going on?
I'm doing well. I'm doing pretty well. I've got 3 BBMs left, guys. So one going down today. And then I think I'm going to save my last 2 for a members only stream on the channel. Maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow night. We'll see how the scheduling works. But yeah, so it's crunch time, and I'm feeling pretty good. I am going to be sad once it's all said and done, because this is all that I'm doing. Once I'm done with these BBMs, I'm calling it a season.
You're calling it. I think I know what's going to happen to me. I'm going to be blasting off in the sprint until I get on the plane to Vegas. I think is basically going to be what I'm going to do. But I hear you on that. I also have a couple big dogs I need to get in. What about you, John? Where are you at on your BBM filling?
I got 7 left. So yeah, probably just rip them over the next couple days here. Hopefully it lasts the weekend there so I can get them in. But I'm getting excited for these BRs, man. Setting the precursor last week with the BadgeBros Brawl there with the 6-man formats and the rapid fire of it. Just saw Crutches tweet out very first playbook, Scroll the Eff Down of the season there. So I'm getting excited to turn the page, because as much as I love best ball season, the bread and butter of my liking is the BR streets.
Yeah, and that's what it's like. I really do feel like I enjoy them equally, and where it's just like, I'm not gonna miss best ball summer, not because I didn't have a blast, but just because like the BRs just pick up where that we left off just so seamlessly. And I should also mention, I do think I am going to spin up a stream on Friday to do like maybe my last couple BBM drafts. I have 8 left right now, so I think I'll try to get to just having 2 left by Friday afternoon. And then I'm going to hop on Neil's stream. I don't know where he's at on catching up. The thought is at 1 p.m. Eastern, I'm going to hop on with him for his final draft. Neil, if you're watching this, stop fucking around, dude. Start streaming. You need to have these all in the bank. Just have one that you need to do Friday afternoon. I mean, the oldest streamer in the world, I would think, would be more organized, more mature in plotting this out. Clearly not, Neil. Get your shit together, man.
Just fresh off vacation. Yeah, fresh off vacation, and he was live for what, like 8-10 hours yesterday?
8 hours yesterday. He was feeling the heat. 8 hours yesterday. He had Pete, I don't know if you're familiar. You're not really a baseball guy. Justin Steele is a pitcher for the Chicago Cubs. Yeah, he's done a lot of streams with him. He was on with him again last night, and I got to watch again. Dude, he's like so in the weeds on this shit. Like it's so awesome to see. I think he knows more about the NFL than he does like other major league players. I was in there, I was commenting. He's like, "Oh yeah, Nez is on the BadgeBros. He does fantasy baseball." He's like, "Oh, like that's cool. Like I really, But then he started talking about football. He gets his hot takes going. It was awesome. So check that out if you haven't. But like, dude actually knows like a good amount of ball. He loves Trey McGronk. So I mean, that's really all that I needed to see. He thought he said he'd be the tight end 1. Not even close. I love that take.
Let's go. That's a hot take that I can get behind here. All right, we said, we do have a lot of ground to cover. Why don't we do you want to quickly do news? Did you guys hit some cut down news yesterday, or have you not given takes on any of that yet?
No, yesterday
we didn't really, because we were so focused on the list.
Yeah.
I got to check that episode out, by the way. I've just been absolutely swamped, but I'm excited to check that out. I guess we can just say, what were the biggest or most notable things for you that from yesterday where you're like, oh, I'm hopping in a draft now and I'm actually going to think about that piece of news?
I took Dalvin Cook in a weekly winners this morning, so that there's something. I mean, like just a less than 0% owned guy who, if he falls into 18 points one week in week 14 when 6 teams are on bye or something like that, could very well matter. I don't know. I think the P Ryan one this morning is kind of like exciting in quotations, just to fill that Jerick McKinnon role and the Carson Steele versus CEH debate kind of like get subsided and be like, yeah, the fullback's actually a fullback. But yeah, that I guess that one for me stood out. The other one that we'll get to in the Scroll the Eff Down one for me was the Deontay Foreman getting cut. This could be something weird that like he just like comes back around to the squad and then they just call him up as need be. But I did take Jerome Ford 3 times yesterday, and he was a guy that, I mean, I was kind of a Chubb slappy for a bit there where I was just taking him in that 140s range like over and over again for the potential ceiling down the road. And now I'm kind of like, what if Ford's just like okay, and that offense is throwing a lot and he's the receiving back and playing like 80+% of snaps. So I did take him over Zach Moss twice yesterday, which was
whoa, that's hot. I can't go that far, John.
Yeah, I think for me, the Eli Mitchell news gave me the green light to push Jordan Mason up pretty far. You kind of talked about it on the Soulcast where like Davis took him over Jaleel McLaughlin. I think that is probably like the resistance for me, because I think Jaleel has some pretty decent standalone value with the potential contingency. But I think Mason can be pushed up, because if you're someone like me who was like kind of fading the Mason, steam, now that it's here, we know that Eli is not playing at all this season. And the fact that Jordan Mason was so undrafted going like up to this point, it is okay to prioritize him. You should not give a damn. If you like Jordan Mason, if you think that he has a role, especially if you think he has a good chance of contingency, if you believe that, who gives a damn if he was taken in the 18th round? Take him. Right. Because the value you get from him, from his ownership percentage, far outweighs the CLV you're missing out on.
Good point.
And I agree with you. And I'm like a big proponent of that too, of like, we talk all the time about like breaking ties 50-50. I guess the only reason, like, I think the example I used on the Swolecast is I'd still take Braylon Allen over him, just because I think I'm more confident that Braylon Allen would have a pretty monster role, whereas I think Isaac Guerrero would actually be involved. Like, I think there's slightly more timeshare risk with Jordan Mason, but that's kind of like splitting nits. But I completely agree with your point. Like, his price does not matter. And I say that because like no one's going to take him in the 12th round. So it's just like, once you get to that point, like after Ty Chandler's off the board or whatever, it's like, who cares? Like it's now time to go get these guys. I mean, I just did the draft on the Swolecast. I took Jalen Naylor in like the 15th round, Malik Washington in the 16th. Like, I'm getting these guys that have low percentages that I haven't been drafting. So yeah, I'm with you on that. The one for me, you know who I took on a BBM team I did this morning? I took Emmanuel Wilson on one. I'm at like 10% Lloyd. I'm at like 5% Jacobs, but Marshawn Lloyd's not going to be ready for the start of the season. I mean, Emmanuel Wilson is going to be the backup. I think he's a guy I want to take cracks at. Like, it's not like he's some old dusty wide receiver or running back. The team clearly likes him too, right? If they're like feeling comfortable with this depth chart, they didn't go out and get a P Ryan. So he's kind of one where it's like one injury away in the first, 5-6 weeks of just being their lead back. Like, that's something I want to take a stab on.
I do think it's noteworthy about him too that they liked him over Patrick Taylor last year. Like that we had those debates on like those showdown slates and stuff like that of like who they would call up from the practice squad and do whatever, that they have kind of been in Wilson's camp, and we haven't talked about him like at all this offseason because of the addition of Lloyd and the re-signing of AJ Dillon. So I do think it's just one little added nugget that they did like him last year, even though he played a very limited role there. I did post one in the Discord yesterday where I saw him go in the 15th, a absolute true ball knowers pick in the BBM.
Nice.
I like that too. Yeah.
I guess like any other, super deep stuff. you guys are doing. Like the only other situation that's like really hard that I would like to capitalize on is this Kendre Miller placed on IR. It's obviously Kamara, Jamal Williams, Jordan Mims makes the team. That's probably like the super interesting, like mega scroll down. Or would you guys entertain that, or is that too thin?
I don't know that I would personally. I think that might just be a little too thin. Maybe I'm like discounting Jordan Mims as a talent, but I don't know that anybody other than like Kamara can be of use for us in fantasy on this team just because of the receiving work Kamara gets. I have a lot of questions about this offense in New Orleans, a lot of questions about the offensive line. If you're just getting a million dump offs this season, then like I don't really care about how the offensive line is performing. But if you need them to open up holes and be a good line and actually have red zone opportunities, I just don't think anybody other than Kamara is of use there. And I think they just picked up Kenny Nwangu as well off of waivers, which is like
he had a good
not
preseason.
Like not anything that we need to worry about. But I think just as far as like a backup role goes, like he's more of a kick returner. But I don't know, not to completely sink the Jordan Mims call, but
no, I think it's pretty. I wrote the same thing in the newsletter where I literally said, I wish I had a sleeper for you in New Orleans, but it's like, what is Jamal Williams? Like, if you want Jamal Williams, just take Miles Sanders. Like, it's like the same spot with like way more clarity and a better player, probably, which I know seems hard to believe when you comp, Miles Sanders. But then, like, yeah, I'm like, I think you just take Kamara and you just have to avoid like getting cute in this backfield, which feels weird because I don't know, like the Emmanuel Wilson. I wish there was an Emmanuel Wilson on the Saints because that would be a screaming click.
It's the situation, right? Or the environment, because the thing that makes Emmanuel Wilson, I think, really interesting is that like this backfield clearly sets up to like whoever is back there is going to be good for us in fantasy. We can pretty confidently say that given the way Jordan Love has looked, given the coaching, the offensive line, like all we need is somebody that can take carries and maybe catch some passes. And the next man up is like very valuable. And given the Lloyd injuries, Dylan on IR, like Emmanuel Wilson is not like a too cute pick. He makes a lot of sense if you were like looking for upside. Like that's all it is like in the event that his nut outcome hits, he's actually doing something for you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Last one I would just throw out is with the Noah Brown. I think Noah Brown should end up on a roster somewhere else. Like I think he's a good enough football player to end up somewhere else. And I think he demonstrated that last year. And he's a really good blocking wide receiver. But that's kind of fun for a good Canadian kid, John Mechie, who, battled the cancer stuff and whatnot, like just as a contingent fourth wide receiver play with some ceiling. I mean, we were taking him in BBM 2 years ago in like the 15th round as a rookie, right? And I mean, granted, a lot's changed since then. And one of those big changes has been the addition of CJ Stroud. Like that, I don't know. I think there's a non-zero chance that he matters in some capacity in some little spike instance throughout the season.
I like that. And I know Nez has been big on this guy even before, but I for me, it was a mental small bump for Schultz as well, just because Noah Brown's earned targets when he's out on the field. Like, I didn't think it was crazy that they'd run some like 4 wide receiver sets with him. Maybe they do a lot more with just the 3 and Schultz out there, just being maybe more of a focal point of the offense.
And there were talks that Mechie was like a trade target too for other teams. So apparently he's showing enough. I like it, John. We're playing a tough contest. At the very least, he's someone to keep an eye out for the non-best ball stuff that we do during the season.
Yeah, man, I'm so thankful that I aped in those last 50 weekly winners on the morning of my wedding for no reason. Like those slows right now, like just none of this may ever matter because you have to hit the nuts effectively in those contests. But the fact that I have access to like the last 3 rounds of just tacking on these 0% guys, like it's a scroll the F down dream. If anything, it's just good for screenshot equity. If it may amount to 0 Skolanskis, but it's just kind of fun.
Yeah, that's what that contest is made for. All right, I know we got a couple things to hit on here. What's first on our docket here?
I think
we do have a special. Underdog's rolling out a bunch of goodies on the pick'em front. They I don't know if we mentioned it last week. They got the tokens that are rolling out, and today we got the no sweat token. It applies to any pick 3 entry before noon Eastern. Tomorrow you cash your entry or you get your money back in bonus cash.
Yeah, that's very fun. I love these tokens. They make the promos just like so much cleaner. And I like that they put it right up top there, nice and easy for us. We doing an all NFL one?
I think we got to. This Carson Steele, you got to get this out of the lobby, guys. You got to get it out. Change it to Savage.
Let's go. That's so fun. Do we want to do something that's fixated on the Thursday night, Friday night action that kicks off the season, or do we want to do something that's just the entirety of the weekend?
Do a primetime pick'em. Let's take a look.
Primetime pick'em sounds fun. Yeah.
All right. We'll do a primetime.
I'm okay including Friday in it. I'm the Brazil game. I'm
exactly
down to include that.
Yeah. The primetime Palooza pick'em is really what we're going for here. John, make sure you apply your token there. You can do it off the hop, but it's fine. We can get it after.
Okay.
Oh wow, they are expecting Jordan Love to go ape shit. I love it.
Look at my dog, Josh Jacobs, just never fumbling. 5.18x on a fumble. That's how he's securing the rock there, Nez.
What about how do we do any of the ball knowers have thoughts on the Eagles run defense? Because 66.5 rushing yards seems nice.
Yeah. And I think just given the fact that it's just like him and Emmanuel Wilson back there, I think we should do that higher just based on the snap share alone that we're projecting.
I think it's a good shout that, like, for best ball purposes, Lloyd not going on PUP is like obviously like good, but then the fact that doesn't imply he's going to play this week. So I don't think
he's going to play.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Even if he does, I mean, I'm pretty sure like Jacobs is going to get every chance to be the full blown bell cow out of the gate. Now we can talk about what's going to happen later in the season, but like week 1, dude's going to get everything he can handle.
John, I love the rushing touchdowns for Jalen Hurts.
That's what I was looking at there, but I mean, we're only getting a 1.08x. It's not overly spicy. Wow. Yeah, it's not overly spicy, but there is some like bro science mentals that I'm doing in my head here. These hurdles of like they just went out and acquired Saquon, or that they're going to give him every possible attempt to score a touchdown in an island game to start the season after going out and getting him, opposed to just playing the hits with the tush push in game 1.
Well, here's a bro science take. If along that same vein, higher on Saquon receiving yards.
Yeah, I think that was the one I was gravitating to of his 4.
Yeah, like just because he's on the Eagles now with Jalen Hurts, I don't think that means that he's like not going to get targets. I think because the weapon is there, maybe now they scheme up some more receiving usage for the running back there because it is Saquon Barkley now. 16.5 in any other game that he's been playing in is just like. It would have been a Giga Smash.
Oh no! Hurry up. Dude, it's already started. It's already started. New me.
Come on,
oh my God.
We need a touchdown. We need some spice. I can't do this vanilla ass $10 pick'em. Get some spice on here.
We have to. It's a max of 5 I'm seeing on mine. What do you have?
Oh, we have a max of 3.
John hasn't applied his token yet.
Okay, yeah. I will apply. No sweat has been applied. Mine says pick 3 max, $10 max.
Yeah.
Wow.
You're the influencer here.
Yeah. So clearly you're a fish, Pete, and they clearly give you the 5x.
Jeez. No. I'm getting max $5 I can put on it.
Wow. You're the sharp. You're the sharp. Oh. How the turntables have turned.
No. It says on the thing, pick 3 max, $5 max up on the token.
Oh, for you.
Did yours say 10? Scroll up, damn it.
Yeah. Show him, John.
Right there.
This is wow. Okay, Jacob,
put it back down. There we go.
Thank you. Okay.
All right, let's get some spice in our life.
Crutch is coming in with some real spicy one to get to 97.4x. Noah Gray.
I'm not doing Noah Gray.
Mahomes rushing and Kraft touchdown for that opening night.
He just wants bonus funds.
I'm doing that right after this one.
Okay.
We'll do the 3 no sweat, and then I'm doing that one for the brand, for the community.
Is it gone? Where was the... No, I do like the Xavier Worthy TD Spice is a pretty fun one.
Xavier Worthy.
It's 1.32 near the top.
I would agree.
Wow, that's crazy that the Rashi Rice one is higher.
Yeah.
Yeah, fired up.
All right, that's our first of the year. I like it.
Sweat-free, baby.
Yeah. All right.
So now that I've applied the no sweat, just to walk me through it, to walk the community through it, like I'm 5 years old, this no sweat, I can choose to apply to any of these 3 picks at a point in time in which it's going down.
No, dude, it's already there. If this pick'em loses, you get $10 back in bonus funds. If any of them lose, it's not like to a specific player. It's not for the entire. It's for the entire pick'em.
Okay, perfect, cool.
Yep, it's really easy.
Yeah, so it's not like I have to be actively participating and apply it to an isolated player.
Nope. Very, very easy.
All right, very first one of the season, using up our new sweat. They are shook right now because the Saquon went higher, then it went lower, then it went higher again.
They're scared.
You might be able to get it at 15.5. New me and Red Mamba behind the scenes right now. Palms are sweaty, knees are shaking, all this good stuff. Okay, well, I want to do this last one for the community, and then I think we should do a playbook and then talk about the scrolls. Mahomes rushing, Noah Gray Spice.
Yeah.
And what was the third?
The third was Kraft Tutty of the Tucker variety.
Man, you want to talk about Scroll the Eff Downs right now? Give me some Tucker Kraft in my life.
Is that a 94?
Yes.
Yeah.
Post that in the private chat, please. I
will We're so back, baby.
Oh my God. We've never been more back.
Nothing's made me feel more back than seeing the real-time numbers adjusting. And it's like, we are 8 days out from that Green Bay game. And it's just like, still like we're already working there.
All right. That's in the private chat. That's in the group chat. Shout out to our guy Crutches, who is adjacent to Mount Rushmore. He's at the base of the mountain. A revised version of the list coming to kick off tomorrow's show there in the morning there. We missed some people. We've had some good feedback. We will keep adding and amending in real time. The football category is really hard, Pete. That was the one we were really struggling with because I'm a big proponent of we don't know who's good yet. There's definitely people who have won stuff and that sort of thing, but nobody's won multiple best ball contests on Underdog other than Mason. He's the only dude according to them. So it's really hard to be who's good at best ball right now. So yeah, we're getting lots of suggestions.
Why do you think there's so many people who have such strong opinions about it? Because no one knows who's good. So
exactly.
It's the biggest it's the biggest content hack ever.
Yeah.
Okay, shall we just hop this one real quick? Rapid fire, first BR of the season.
Yeah, just completely surface level bro takes, and then the breakdown will be for next week. But yeah, just for the vibes. You're kidding.
Hand builder bro, baby. I'm always prepared.
What is that, John?
That is the full season schedule grid that is ready at all times.
Is that from your own color printer?
Buddy, come on. It actually came with the draft board last night that we got for our first home league draft. Actually, I was really impressed by the lads in the home league. Some Jordan Mason getting drafted. Some of them play on Underdog and get some good volume down and that sort of thing. But just speaking to the news cycle and how tapped in, even the casual, in quotations, fans are these days, the games are definitely getting harder.
So will you explain to people this contest? This is my first chance getting a look at it as well.
Yeah, so this is a Battle Royale precursor for week 1. So it's setting the ADP for the week 1 main slate there. So you will see in this contest right now that there is in fact no ADP. The ADP which we kick off the main slate with will come from this, but this is in itself a fun contest to play as well. 33 max entries with a decent little prize pool there with 1K to first. So, I mean, it's still, you want to find your scrolls, or you want to find your values before the entire community gets to them. It's here right now.
Sweet. No ADP, just raw dogging it here.
Just projections, Numi typed in by hand, one by one, just going down one by one, just applying projections just to get something up here, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Based on like how things would shake out last year towards the end of the season, like Achan stands out as being way too low to me.
Yep. That's a fun one.
Yeah, I think I'm going to lose my shirt on Achan every week until he hits. And then when he does hit, I'll just be there with everybody else. It just seems like too much of a home run call that I'm just going to be in on every single week.
One kind of like evergreen one for when the BRs drop on Friday there and that sort of thing is like what we're going to do with Jamar Chase as news drops, etc. Do you guys want to take HN there? We got
push him. Oh, I guess we're at the turn.
Yeah, we're at the turn here.
We don't have to destroy his ADP yet.
Yeah,
I definitely like Chase, right?
Yeah, let's
like,
just go Chase.
Good.
Yeah, he's the pick.
Okay. Chase
John's brain is already thinking of like who's going to be too popular combined at the turn.
Yeah, he's already full.
I'm literally like thinking through this right now. Yeah, I mean this Houston Shroud game, like that looks like fun. If you want to take Shroud and then take whichever wide receiver falls, or if you want to take HN here, I'm cool with it. Taylor on the same game environment.
Let's do Taylor.
Taylor sounds good. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if they play as fast as the ETR guys are expecting them to, and he has like nobody behind him, we could be looking at a shit ton of touches for Jonathan Taylor.
I'm bullish on that little skull cap that he's wearing that nobody else is wearing. He's going to keep his mentals, his chickens intact there.
His chickens.
Oh man, this little 6x6 grid. I've missed you.
So back.
So much nicer.
So back.
I should also mention a couple programming notes. So last week will be our last Wednesday show. I forget, John, when did you say you're going to Vegas? Are you able to do a Wednesday stream?
No, but you guys could do a 2-man. That might be a lot of fun to do a week 1 primer, the two of you guys, if you want to. I will not be able to. I'm going to go Wednesday morning, I believe, and I'm going to try and get a little old Texas Hold'em in there for a little 8-hour sesh or something.
All right. Yeah, Nez, I'm down to run a 2-man game on Wednesday. Yeah, we'll do a primer. And then after that, we will be starting up with Friday shows like last year. The only other tweak is it's going to be a smidge earlier. It'll be at 2:30 Eastern. We'll kick those off. We'll give me a little more breathing room. I'm going to do the block party show with JM at 1. We'll generally go, 75 to 90 minutes max. And so then we'll always be able to start on time. Last year, we always ran a little long on the block party. So yeah, you guys can plan on us starting at 2:30 p.m. sharp on Fridays going forward for week 2 and on.
Yeah, that'll be fun. We've grown a little bit since last year, where we don't need the rollover so badly. Like that was such a nice little sweetener. We've earned a buffer this year. I think people still know where to find us.
We'll see. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind taking it straight up to it, so we do get the like really clean transition there. But we'll figure that out.
Yeah, whatever works for you. All right. So obviously, like we're just. The running backs here are just like phenomenal. We're also looking at Steph Diggs here. You might as well just take QB off the screen.
Yeah.
So like I love Rashad White, but the front for Washington might be legit. Kamara has like the best role in football. I think we just do Alvin Kamara, but that's just like my brain.
I also could see us like taking ETN in the first round of week 2 battle royales too, but I'm good with Kamara.
Yeah. He's also like this is amazing. We're so bad.
DK Metcalf gonna get that Surtain treatment. Does that mean JSN's gonna be open all day against the Broncos, boys?
I like the Diggs, man. He's gonna come out and demand 14 targets in this opening game.
A little
otherwise his relationship with CJ Stroud and the team is gonna deteriorate. So it has to happen.
All right. Well,
well, Trevor Lawrence in the third. Okay.
This is not in the spirit of how we normally draft, guys. We are going to have to do some active scrolling here at the onesies. This is way too chalky for me.
But isn't our service to the platform to establish what the chalk is going to be that we're going to later scroll down from? Isn't it our duty to establish the best plays in this contest?
Yes, it is true. It is true. If we are doing our service to the platform, we should be guiding the people in the right direction right now.
There you go.
I was also thinking about Mike Evans. I almost called him Michael Evans. Mike Evans, where we took Diggs as well. Last year, Commanders were a huge target for us for pass catchers. I don't believe they did anything to address it. So we could be looking at another really awesome target for us this season with the Commanders, unless their pass rush is just like that good or their offense is so bad that teams don't even have to try to pass on them.
Yeah, and you want to talk about another pass funnel here. The one that Nick's alluding to was Titans last year was the secondary that we attacked too. That could be a little fun. Caleb doubles right off the rip.
Oh, baby.
Yeah.
If Caleb goes nuts this week, next week he's like a second-round pick.
Oh, for sure.
The people just will not be able to contain themselves.
Well, Nez, thank goodness I got this for you here. We got ourselves Bears at Houston next week on a island slate. So Primetime Palooza going to be going nuts with the Caleb there in week 2.
God.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Oh, it's a primetime game?
Yeah.
That slate's going to be loaded.
Okay, so we got Anthony Richardson if we want it. It might be negative correlation with Jonathan Taylor there. I kind of like Kyler, but I imagine Trey's already gone.
He went in the second round.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can we get a quarterback tight end stack? Can you go over to tight end?
We could do Bowers and
I'm worried about Bowers' foot. Just like
sure.
He's still been at practice. Want to do?
We got
it's Dak there.
Yeah, let's do Dak if he's there.
Yeah,
nice.
Burrow's there too. We can do Burrow with Chase.
Oh, duh! Forgot we have Jamar Chase.
Yeah, which do you guys prefer?
Burrow.
I think Burrow.
Okay.
Home versus New England.
They're huge favorites. Yeah.
Man, there is going to be so much leverage in taking Zach Moss in week 1. Oh, I'm here for it, baby. I'm here for the 18 carry Zach Moss game.
That's your first takeaway from finishing your very first battle royale of the season. This Zach Moss leverage is going to be juicy.
Is it? I mean, there's going to be even more juicy leverage than that. That's even a better projection, I have to imagine, than Zach Moss.
Nobody projects better than Zach Moss, Pete.
Chase Brown. Let's get this Chase Brown ADP bolstered. Let's do that, actually.
Hang on. John doesn't get to be the Zach Moss like bull when he just admitted to taking fucking Jerome Ford ahead of him. Like, get out of here.
I did it. Yeah. I did it twice yesterday. But I did take Zach Moss in the home league to keep the brand alive.
There you go.
I've been getting a lot of Zach Moss lately. Like all these 110s, I'm been gobbling them up.
Ooh, big Thad scrolling the F down. Parker Washington stack in week 1. That's how you win the 1,100 person GPP right there. You scroll down.
That's too far. Yeah. We're going to have to raid people in this year. The brand with Scroll the Eff Down has become too strong. We're going to have to reel people back in here.
John, your class action lawsuit coming your way, I think.
I love it so much.
Parker Washington in a GPP. My goodness.
A 1,000 person GPP too. It's not even like that absurdly large.
It's 1,100. It's not even 11,000. It's 1,100.
Oh, sorry, that's what I meant. 1,100. Holy shit, man.
Oh, I love it so much.
Parker Did Christian Kirk even get drafted?
I don't know. Yeah, I didn't even see.
Toss it.
That's like the flags might be raised in the back end for that one. I'm not gonna lie.
But I'm coming out for this New England onslaught. That's how I'm bag protecting my lack of Drake May exposure. Is I'm coming out with these New England onslaughts week 1. There you go.
Great shout.
That was fun, man. We are so back. That felt good.
All right. Do you want to do some scroll down targets before we hop into a BBM to cap things off?
Yeah, for sure. Let's do it here. I do want to set the stage for the week though, just really quickly. We got 300 and whatever of us watching. Jump on over to the YouTube channel, hit that like, hit that subscribe, that notification bell and stuff. Nez and I will be here tomorrow on this channel, and then Nez alluded to doing a private member stream for the last 2 BBMs of his. And then on Friday, we're anticipating the big drop of the main BR slate and stuff like that. I'll be doing a little traveling and stuff, but we will make sure we get a show on Friday of that one going down. And then, next week is going to be a little bit of hybrid stuff, but this show will be here, and a Monday and Tuesday show will be here for sure for you guys.
Yeah, I'm super excited. Like immediately after like Nez and I do our show on Wednesday, I'm gonna try to like script and record the first of my weekly battle royale style videos on the Deposit Kingdom.
Ooh.
I think it'll be like kind of going through like my favorite hidden gems, and then I think the concept I'm working on is having like 2 or 3 different draft ideas, like different kind of fun ways to attack a draft, and then going into drafts and having 3 or 4 within the video showing me trying to execute it. And it could have like a macro theme, like, you know, a sub 20% quarterback tight end stack, or it could be like specific, like this is the best scroll the F down guy. How do you build? So the format's coming together in my head, but I'm excited to get making those.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Man, the growth is just absurd in these games. I love it. Yeah, so with all the news, man, a lot of different scroll down targets have now come into play for us at different projected ownership. I wanted to start things off really hot. Okay. I think right now my favorite scroll down target is Isaac Guerendo for the Niners. We've talked about him a lot, man. Specifically you, John, and in a positive light. That wasn't derogatory, but you know, we talked about his collegiate rushing history. Who did he share backfield with that he out rushed, by the way? Who was it?
My guy, Jahar Jordan. My guy.
Oh, Jahar Jordan, I'll touch him. Sorry, so that's actually not bullish. But I mean, Guerendo was a combine freak.
Isaac stole the job from Jahar Jordan after Jahar Jordan had 2 good years.
Thank you. Thank you. That's bullish. That's bullish.
And then like I think literally like top 5 most athletic running back to enter the league, like whatever the RAS database goes back to.
Yeah. Right? Like I think these are just certain things that you can equate, sort of like fast guys going to the Dolphins, athletic freaks playing running back for Shanahan and the Niners is just something that should pique our interest. We already have the calf injury for Christian McCaffrey. We already have Elijah Mitchell on the IR for the whole season. Like we talked about, if something happened to CMC, I don't think Jordan Mason is getting an 80% snap share. I think Guerendo is getting worked in. And I think if we give Guerendo enough chances in the first team offense for the Niners, he's going to flash a little bit of something. So just as a pure upside pick in round 18 at like sub 1% drafted across the entire tournament, I think Guerendo actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. I like,
you know,
go ahead.
Oh, go, John. No, I was going to say like, go for it.
Go.
I was just going to say, yeah, when we made like our short list, like when we were floating this around yesterday, this was before all the cuts, and I hadn't written him down, but he is definitely, you know, in that same mold that we were just talking about with the Emmanuel Wilson, like the guys whose outlook has materially benefited. And then when you get to hang your hat on the combo of insane athleticism and the best running scheme in the entire NFL, and then you layer in all of the, uncertainty, injury stuff there, I'm really on board with that. I mean, Sean had me drafting Guerendo a few times on Best Ball Breakfast in the last round this year. Like he was willing to draft him like with basically nothing panning out for him. That was with Eli Mitchell and Jordan Mason in the picture. So yeah, I think that's a super fun click. Like if you want to say which of these guys could be like small wins, but what could be just a seismic, league winning selection, like it's definitely a guy like Guerendo.
Yeah, I like that. I want to address the chat here that Jahar Jordan did outrush him last year and was the ACC rushing leader because Guerendo was a transfer last year, but he lost his job to Guerendo after getting hurt. And then Guerendo was the guy who kind of like finished the year as the guy. So like that was the thing. He didn't end up outrushing him. He was a Wisconsin transfer. So yeah.
Anyways. Thank you for that background because I knew none of that. I just know he's an athletic freak and he plays for the Niners. That's all I care about.
Yeah, go Burr. Go Burr. Fucking IQ meme. Let's go. I like it.
Yep.
Pete, you got another one for us?
Yeah, I had mentioned this guy last week. I'm sticking with it. In Cam Akers being a guy that I've really just continued to kind of push, like almost in like the Garendo thing of like, if there is a huge win, like we already saw Singletary was just a massive win in this offense last year. Yeah. I think Cam Akers could give us like Singletary-esque, right? Like he's not going to be just like a top 5 running back, but could he be like a ho-hum, top 24 guy most weeks? I could see it. And I just love the blend of how good he looks, what his preseason usage and performance was. And then you couple that with a team that was willing to give Dameon Pierce the quick hook last year. They didn't have any sunk cost fallacy. They would much, much prefer that Dameon Pierce, after they spent that pick on him, was their guy. And they said, screw it, Devin Singletary. I think it's going to be the same thing with Mixon. Like, I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just saying if he falters, I don't think they will be like, we got to save face because we paid Mixon all this money. They're going to say, no, we just got Stephon Diggs. We have CJ Stroud. We are going to win. And if we think Cam Akers is the best back for us. So I think there's just enough kind of like chaos and uncertainty here that I love taking stabs on a guy who's going to be so low owned in this contest.
Yeah. And I mean, the fact that he just looked good in the preseason coming off the Achilles stuff, it's just like, extra little stamp of approval, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. He's definitely somebody that if something were to happen to Mixon, I think he has one of the better roles as a contingency bet in all of football right now, just because he has the pedigree of being a good running back. Obviously injuries completely derailed his career, but in the event that Mixon is out, I think Akers gets a lot of touches in this backfield. And yeah, the Achilles stuff is kind of scary. We don't have a huge sample size of Achilles really like obviously it's not good to have an Achilles injury. However, modern medicine is getting very, very good at repairing these ruptured Achilles. And I don't even know if this was ruptured versus a tear, but we are getting better at it. He looks good to prove that. To me, it just seems like a very smart low-owned bet because this is super, super low-owned. And you don't have to think too hard to see it happening.
The list of Achilles tear running backs that came back and did anything is very small and awful, but it's back in the day. Like the most recent one is the Deontay Foreman.
Yeah, and he actually was a good player.
And he was good. And that's the most modern equivalent of it. Like back in the day, it used to be a death sentence, but
because you can look cross sports and see success too. Like Kevin Durant came back and still playing at a high level. Yeah, I mean,
yeah. The other thing, the other pushback I've seen to Akers, and I've seen this to a lot of preseason guys. It is so funny to me. I'll see these people say, well, he did that against second and third string backups. I'm like, congratulations, genius. You just described what the preseason was. Like, that's literally what preseason is. It's second and third string guys going against each other. So, yes, this is the data we have. I realized that it wasn't the worst players on one team going against the best players on the other team. That would be really nice for helping us evaluate these guys. But it's the fucking preseason, and this is what we have.
Yeah, it'd be different if this is a nobody. This is Cam Akers. Like, we see him running. We know he can read defenses and be a good running back.
Yeah, I mean, he was a 3rd or 4th round pick 2 years ago on the Rams there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways. Directionally accurate for Jahar Jordan 3 months ago. Come on, right? I mean, they hate name.
We'll give it to you, John.
Thank you. I like a Dusty old right now. Just given the cuts that happened around him, the guy that plays the exact same position of him as him on the move there, and the way in which they've utilized him in the preseason and stuff. And we are getting a really stark discount on ownership. ETR only has him at 10% owned. Franklin is buried and was drafted way higher than him. Mims was drafted way higher than him. Give me a little bit of one of our favorite professional ass wide receivers around here. Josh Reynolds has a cheap backdoor stack with Bo Nix there.
I have no problem with this.
I have no problem with it either, especially because we've gotten a lot of clarity. We know Sean Payton is a bit of a loose cannon with this usage, but we've gotten some pretty strong inclinations on, what Tim Patrick is it on the team? That's a really nice thing to know. We know that Troy Franklin is really far down the depth chart. I think if we see an impact from him, it's going to be late season, fantasy playoffs, which I'm hoping for some of my bags comes to fruition, but not expecting anything at the top. Josh Reynolds seems like the one thing you're going to be able to bank on as far as late. Obviously Sutton, but he costs a top 100 pick. So I think Reynolds on the right teams, if you got like the Keon Coleman, Brian Thomas like thing, and you're just like, all right, let me get some veteran production in here, or you are building out the game stack stuff. I do think he's on the menu.
Yep.
Yeah. Former boy of mine, Josh Reynolds. I used to take him all the time in battle royales. Still my boy. Don't get me wrong. It is kind of interesting with him with Bo Nix, because I think Bo Nix is going to be very serviceable. It'll be interesting to see how effective this offense is. Josh Reynolds is definitely not a bum. So I like the call a lot. I mean, at least for early season production, who knows like what happens toward the end of the season for the Broncos, but I do think that he is getting pretty disrespected for a very clear role.
Yeah. The one that is no surprise to anyone who's been drafting a lot, but I still think is just like one of the ones I've been forcing myself, don't get bored with this guy just because he's been the flavor of the week for a while. It is Jalen Naylor. He's just so capped from what his ownership can be. And to me, he's like the best blend of super low ownership, kind of guaranteed role, enough injury stuff in that offense to where he could just have huge opportunity all year, even off the rip. Like he doesn't need something to break right. It's not like a Brendan Rice climbing the depth chart kind of thing. Like he's going to be on the field right away. And then I think there's just enough, like we still don't fully know who this guy is because he's been injured so much. I think there's some like actual breakout appeal that like he might just be good, not just I'm chasing routes in a handful of targets each week. So to me, you pair that with like the Sam Darnold not getting drafted a ton. He's the perfect guy for me to balance out some early heavy Jordan Addison bags as well. So he's been a guy that I've really been prioritizing late.
Yeah, and then the Hawk, like we knew he was going to move to pup, but like just the fact that he is actually now on pup gives you a little more bullish, like 3 wide receiver sets, like stamp of approval there. Directionally accurate, Brandon Powell, boys. Can we get a little tick on?
You're driving me crazy.
Yeah, I mean, like they clearly like him too because he's been like kind of a red shirt guy in their own organization for the last couple of years, and now he's opening up some potential with KJ Osborne being gone there, and then you also have the out that you alluded to with the suspension potential for Addison. I've done the weekly winners thing at the end there where you do like Darnold and Naylor in the last couple rounds there, just to be one of the guys with only exposure to it. So yeah, kind of in lockstep with this one, Pete.
Love it.
Yeah. Another player I'd like to nominate is I've got a few here, but let me just once again, guys, I've said it once before, I'll say it again. Elijah Moore, I think, is being overlooked in Best Ball Mania in a really big way. If everybody keeps talking about how the Browns are going to throw more, they're going to play fast, like how they ended last season, they're going to do it again. They had 104 targets last year. And if Deshaun Watson's going to be anything, and even if he's not, then Jameis Winston's going to be back there slinging that shit. I do not think Cedric Tillman is taking Elijah Moore's job. We liked him as a prospect. He's kind of had a very weird career path, but being on the Cleveland Browns that are projected to pass a lot and play fast, he should not be sub 10% drafted in drafts. I just flat out do not believe that. If he's the wide receiver 3 for this team, he's going to have more value than a lot of players that are going in the 18th round right now. Very interested to see what his season looks like because I've been tacking him on at the end of drafts just because the fact that he is just flat out not even considered for a lot of people. Run back off of the Miami stuff if you were doing Miami stuff, which I am doing quite a bit. And then, just as a honorable mention here, Malik Washington as well, his week 17 counterpart.
Yeah, I definitely see the bull case here. A little more concerned about Cedric Tillman than you are perhaps there, but they did go out and acquire Elijah Moore for a reason. And yeah, absolutely. His ownership's a little bit higher than that. According to ETR, it's 25, not 10, but kind of negligible mute point at that point.
Yeah.
Can I flow one more, and then I'm going to have to dip when you guys hop into BBM, but like a semi-correlated one that, I've just had this kind of like epiphany in my heart of hearts. I obviously am in on a couple of the Raiders pieces, really like Bowers, Nez, and you've gotten me on Jacoby Myers a little bit more. I'm like, what if this team is just kind of like the Geno thing from a few years ago, where it's like the weapons and everything is all here. We've already seen it from Gardner Minshew. And if you carry that thesis on, like Trey Tucker, he's a guy that keeps getting brought up to me a few times. And I've really started to buy it a little bit, of like the perfect better in best ball guy, another like year 2 guy who's just basically forgotten and flashed efficiency. He didn't quite hit the thresholds that would normally give you enough signal that a breakout's coming. And obviously the volume's not going to be there. But like I've started similar to the, like, I think it's like a poor man's version of the Darnold Naylor, of doing like, I did some Minshew, Trey Tucker at the end of weekly winners, and been taking Trey Tucker on teams. If I have Vegas, I'm correlating. If I already have Bowers or Myers and just want another team bet. So that's one that I'm just like, we could all look back and be like, wait, Minshew was good. They play all of their playoff games in the dome. Like they have sick weapons here. Like what if this passing offense is just fun?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we talked about it last year a little bit with Trey Tucker, that he might be the most underhyped day 2 wide receiver prospect in the history of best ball. Like nobody talked about him last year.
Round 3, man.
Yeah, he's a round 3 draft pick, right? And yeah, anyways, yes, I like the shout there, Pete. Like they didn't bring back Hunter Renfrow for a reason, right? Like they clearly think they have something in this guy, and kind of fits a little bit more perimeter than like Hunter Renfrow. Slotty, like you can move him around a little bit more, but he is like a little guy in quotations, like, you know, 5'9" kind of deal. But yeah, I like it. I like it as if this offense goes, like you're probably going to want like the rotational slot and or mix out wide guy.
All right, dudes, I apologize. I do have my a monthly meeting that I'm not going to be able to hang for this. Just maybe try not to get Adam Thielen on this team if I can.
I was going to say, any requests? No Adam Thielen. We'll remove him from the ranks. Anybody else you would like us to target?
Just, I mean, I know I won't have to twist your guys' arm as we lose Nez here. Get me a couple of these scroll down guys we just talked about. Okay. You know, some of our targets. If you want to go out and get Jordan Mason early, I'm on board with that. I will tell you this. One thing that's been funny to me is, and this is just how RNG stuff works. I had a streak on like Best Ball Breakfast where I was getting all early draft slots. And I'm like not over exaggerating. My past 9 or 10 BBM drafts have all been from 10, 11, or 12. Yep. And I'm in the Davis Maddock mode where I'm just building the same team over and over. It's all these CJ Stroud doubles because I'm getting one of Nico, Diggs, or Dell. Tons of Drake London, Kyle Pitts, Kirk Cousins, tons of Garrett Wilson, Mike Wilson, Aaron Rodgers. Basically everything on that side of the board, I've just built that version of the team 10 of the past time. So maybe you guys can build a different version of that for me today.
I hope we roll a front end draft slot for you then.
Thank you. All right. Like I said, guys, Nez and I will be back next Wednesday, normal time, for a little 2-man game, getting ready for week 1 battle royale. And then, yeah, I'm off to Vegas to sync up with John and make sure he stays in line. So make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time on Off and On the Clock.
Peace, Pete.
Okay. I will bring us up here. I had it all ready there, and then I iced you by accident. And I was like, this is going to be so smooth today. Nez, any other Scroll the Eff Downs that you want to mention before we hop in here? I got a couple like names that I just been thinking about, like Jordan Whittington still on my radar. Yep. Michael Mayers on my radar as a little bit of leverage there. Samaje Perine now obviously is going to be pushing up just because of the landing spot there. Kind of interesting.
That's like a chalky one, but we're talking 10% of BBM left. Nobody was really drafting Samaje Perine. I think he's a very, very fine round 18 pick. I mean, have you seen the round 18 running backs? I mean, you just don't want to be picking there. If you have to, Perine is like a shiny gold nugget in a pile of shit.
I'll give another 18 round one that I've said on here before, and like Easy kind of gave his stamp of approval associated with, is the Miles Sanders one. Yeah, like, I think it's fine to bet against. Like if you think that offense is improved, if you think Canales is going to help them move the football, the quarterback whisperer, blah blah blah, like just buying into some Miles Sanders because there was no benefit in the team cutting him financially, and they're paying him, right? So it's like, just why can't he beat out Chuba Hubbard for a job in the early weeks while Jonathan Brooks recovers? And I imagine the Jonathan Brooks ramp up is going to be slower than the majority of people anticipate, especially if the Panthers don't think their season is going as well as they originally potentially thought it could go this year.
I think another point for Miles Sanders too is like, if you're taking Miles Sanders, you think that the Panthers are going to be better than people think. And if they are going to be better, they're going to have more snaps, more offensive possessions. That's just more opportunities for Sanders to rotate in anyways. So just a lot of, I think, low key upside there. I just don't think Miles Sanders is completely dust. Like,
Right.
I think if Miles Sanders was cut, he would be picked up.
Yeah.
Nobody's trading for that contract, but I don't think Miles Sanders is as dust as everybody else thinks.
Yep, I like that.
As a pick, maybe, but as a player, no, thank you. I think he still has something there.
I got 3 super dusty, less than 1% stack partners only. You ready for them? What if Trenton Irwin wins the slot instead of Yoshi Voss?
Next.
What if Nelson Aguilar is the professional ass wide receiver that Baltimore just needs out there? He takes some of that role that he had in the postseason last year, and they think Walker is ass, so they leave him on the field in 2 and 3 wide receiver sets.
That one's live.
Okay. Yeah, so there's a 1% Nelson Aguilar that we can agree on. And this one you're probably not going to agree on. They cut Zay Jones. What about Zach Pascal as the big-bodied, professional-ass wide receiver red zone threat as a touchdown scoring piece of Scroll the Eff Down leverage in your Kyler stacks?
I mean, just because I've played Zach Pascal before, I can't give you the Trent Irwin treatment on that one. You know what? Why not? Why not? I'll give
man, they were extremely gal brain. But yeah, and then the other one we alluded to earlier, as you are going to hop in here for us, Nez, I will bring you up right now. Hopping in BBM right now. Nez has 3 bullets left. We're going to use one of them right here.
Snap Phil, son of a bitch.
Snap Phil.
Sorry,
wow,
everybody.
Look at all these things. All these double dribble slows. What a boss.
I'm trying to maximize the old rake back. So if you want to get some double dribbles in, let's fill these slows before the deadline, shall we?
Love it. Yeah, I don't know. I've done De'Ami Brown once or twice. Olamide Zacchaeus once or twice. I've done these
Zacchaeus. Who's Olamide Zacchaeus?
Zacchaeus? How do you say it?
Zacchaeus. Zacchaeus. There's no D. There's no N.
I kind of liked my pronunciation of it better. Like, he sounded pretty tough. Like, he sounded nails.
He sounded nails, he says.
Remember when I played 60% of them in the Primetime Palooza that one time?
Oh my God. I'm glad I don't.
With Philly and it, like, Quez Watkins Q tag, and yeah, awesome stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I'm mixed.
Back end pick, Numi. Thank you so much.
Damn it, dude. I got a super gal brain one that might not matter. Oh, sorry. Let me finish the. I've mixed in KJ Osborne a couple times, and I've mixed in Pierre Strong and Dalvin Cook in the weekly winners with the very last pick there, just touchdown hunting for whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. The other names I didn't name, Malik Washington, I'd mentioned. He's being drafted in most BBMs now, and I think he should be, with Odell Beckham starting the season on the pup. Just a chance for him to kind of show what he's got. He's a very fast player playing for Mike McDaniels. I think he's definitely worthy of a flyer, just as somebody that has the potential, I think, to give you a pretty decent spike week in the 18th round. I think Jatavian Sanders is live to be picked as well. He's very, very much undrafted in this contest. As of right now, I think he's the only healthy tight end for the Panthers. So if you like the Panthers this week, he had some pretty nice efficiency metrics in Texas and that loaded collegiate team down in Austin. And one player that is going to be probably my top 5 drafted tight end when it's all said and done in BBM is Tucker Kraft.
Nice.
Very much doing Tucker Kraft. He's been like my tight end 3 pretty much all of August. And I've got half of my drafts being done right now in August. John, are you scared of Puka Nacua?
I mean, I'm still clicking him, but I saw the clip with Silva and Greg Rosenthal, and it got me a little bit scared. But he was back at practice yesterday.
Yeah, dude. I'm not worried.
Yeah.
Not worried.
I
think it's okay to be scared, but like, I think at the end of the day, man, he's the best rookie wide receiver we've ever seen.
Good point. It's a good point. Yeah. Sometimes we just gotta. Yep. Best season we ever saw from.
I got good.
No, I was just gonna. I was gonna joke around about everybody teaching me how to pronounce it. If you guys hang around long enough, don't worry. I'm gonna fuck up at least 2 a show. So
two a show guaranteed.
Yeah. Let's fuck around and find out. Let's have some fun, man. This is one of our last BBMs. Take Achan. Let's do it.
Okay, thank you. I was worried you're going to say somebody else, but no, I love Achan. I want as much Achan as I can get as I close out BBM. He's going to end up being, I think, 12 or 15% when I'm all finished. Which I'm glad I got that up because it was around 8. I'm just like, what am I doing, man? Devon Achan might break football. Let's just fucking do it. No concern about the bye weeks. I had another scroll down pick, and it's not fun. Okay, I take no pleasure in saying this, but what if Zach Ertz is healthy all season?
Yeah, I mean the bull case for that is the fact that Cliff Kingsbury loves him, man. Like he loves him. We saw all those high target games when Kyler went down. I think it was Colt McCoy that year, or yeah, I can't remember who the backup quarterback was. Yeah, and when Kyler was down, it was just like the Zach Ertz like 10 target show. So I don't think it's crazy. I mean, you're literally playing into the hands of Dave Kitchens with that thought process. But I mean, you're talking about a guy who played fullback before he played tight end and Ben Set and Ben Sanat, and fucking nailed it again. Like, sure, they traded up, they drafted him highly in the draft, and people want to give that credence and whatnot, but maybe they just like a dusty tight end who's professional ass inline guy with some receiving chops.
Yeah, like I think everybody says this when I bring this up is like he's a week 1 play, round 1 play, however you want to describe it, and maybe Sanat emerges. I just think if Ertz is healthy, it is what it is, man. He's going to be a thorn in the side of Ben Sinnott, and I think that Ben Sinnott needs an injury just because, like you said, man, Cliff is going to play the shit out of Ertz, and they need a target for Jaden Daniels. And I know that like that's not like I hear myself, trust me, like I'm saying Zach Ertz is a target for Jaden Daniels, but they did trade away the wide receiver too there. I don't think that Zach Ertz is an awful pick if you are trying to stack Jaden Daniels in the 18th round.
How about this? Zach Ertz wins somebody a dog bowl seat in week 2 versus the Giants.
Whoa. Okay.
Scroll the Eff Down tight end. We see it in week 1. They got at Tampa Bay in week 1. We see Zach Ertz get like 8 targets and 72% of routes. And we look at the usage and we go, there might be a little something here. And you go scroll the Eff Down, skinny stack, Jaden Daniels, and maybe Malik Neighbors on the bring back. What do you think about that?
John, you might have me hooked on that one. I think that actually there actually might be some room for run on that.
Yeah. Can you fire up the draft board for me here so I can see where people have been going and such? Okay, let's check this out here. Man, this Kyron debate stuff about the
we talked about that news with Pete.
The kick return stuff. It just, I don't know. I saw some very level-headed arguments for Levitan has a really good tweet on it, and John Boy Beats has a really good tweet juxtaposing that the year in which Cooper Kupp did it with as like the most sure-handed punt return guy back there, he had his best season or one of his best seasons ever. So I don't know, man. I think maybe they just trust him to wave his hand and make fair catches. I view Stephon Diggs as a tier break here, so I'm comfortable taking him. If you wanted to push Rice up and have some fun, I'm good with it too. If you want to do like a Rice,
too many week 6 buys. Yeah, no, I'd rather do Diggs.
Yeah, it's cool, and it gives ourselves a couple outside quarterbacks and that sort of thing. I'm in lockstep with you on the blue button if you want to do it on the next go around.
Cool. What were we just talking about? Kyren Williams. Yeah. I think it was absolutely reasonable to see that news blurb drop and be scared and to be conflicted and to wrestle with that information as we should chew on these things and digest it. After I've done that, like, I don't think we should care. You know what I mean? Like, that's just not something that I think that we should really care about.
I think the most interesting takeaway was it from the Coach Speak one, like Coach Speak Index, did something on his Patreon page with it, and he retweeted like the actual clip of it. The talking of like mixing in other guys to spell him was kind of like, ugh, that doesn't sound as great. But that was always on the table.
Obvious. Yeah, because if that wasn't happening, thank you. Yeah, that's what I wanted.
McGrock, baby.
Yeah, because like, if that wasn't happening, Kyren Williams would be a 1-2 turn pick, but we've already built that into our expectations. So I just, that to me, and it was also to spell as needed too. That was like the operative word there, that everybody else like to cling on to, if needed. Yeah. So, they don't like to rotate backs very much, but it is good. It would be interesting to know if like, hey, are we getting Corum drives, versus Kyren drives? For me, it's always been like, is Kyren healthy? And if he's healthy, then he has one of the best ceilings in football. It's a little, less than now that that Corum is there. That's always been the case, but he still has, like the touchdown upside and the receiving upside with the efficiency in that offense.
I mean, there's a reason I took 40% of them in the 50 BadgeBros brawl drafts.
Same here.
And I think that's a good caveat here from Dylan, that it's just, if needed, was one of the operative phrases within the Coach Speak segment there. So yeah. They'll bring up this Ryan Flournoy as a potential Scroll the Eff Down there, tethered to one of the highest potential pass rate teams with the Cowboys there. Everybody's been clicking Jalen Tolbert. He's moved up pretty substantial. I think Noah Brown ends up there. I think Noah Brown ends up back
home.
Yeah.
That would make a ton of sense. They need depth big time. Mm-hmm. Big time. They're very thin. So I think he staying in the state of Texas, going back to where he's played before, would make a lot of sense. Not that I have Jalen Tolbert bags. I think that could damage the hurt the projection for Tolbert by just a smidgen. But I still think Tolbert is a really solid click at the moment. But
he's moved up pretty high. Like he's like in the 160s range here. Let's have the conversation about two other scroll down guys, or used to be scroll down guys, that now everybody's going to be pushing up and seeing. I saw a Jordan Mason click in the 12th round yesterday. I saw a Samaje Perine floating around on Twitter there in the 13th or something like that, 13, 11, something like that. I think it was on the previous draft. Where are you comfortable clicking those two names right now? Where do you want to click them?
I would click Mason for sure. I'm not going to go too far out of my way. I think I would probably go pick like 160 around that range. Like I would have a debate between him and Khalil Herbert, I think.
Him and Khalil Herbert. Okay.
Yeah. Like that'd be a debate. I know. But I have a lot of Herbert.
Okay. But Bucky Irving or Jordan Mason?
Bucky, we're on the clock. Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Just queuing up some wide receivers.
Let's take Rome
over these guys, dude.
For sure.
Dude, I don't know.
All right, fine. Take Keenan Allen then. It's your last bullet.
I got really excited. I got really excited about Rome. Yeah. I did.
Yeah, I probably would have taken on my own there. I take Ken Walker first, and then I take Rome second.
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah, it makes sense for the run back there. I just don't know that he can totally usurp Keenan Allen like that. If that's, I did it for a little bit. I was excited, but like I got my extra shares in and called it. So I'm gonna zoom out just a smidgen here. We can wait. I mean, we can reach?
Let's do Kyler.
You want to just do it? All right, yeah. I agree. I think we should just lock that shit up because I don't think he's coming back.
he rarely comes back. I got one fall a couple nights ago where he fell back to this side because the Harrison guy passed on it. And but I've also done Kyler naked in like the middle of this upcoming round and just like tried to tack on like Dortch late or Wilson late or something like that. And I think people are kind of gotten to this point where they're comfortable enough with that idea that he never falls anymore.
Sorry for the
Kyler.
faller there, because we were talking about the Cardinals. Yeah, no, I agree. I don't think like if we're making this Trey bet, which we are very strongly, we might as well just lock it up, because if this is hitting like we need it to hit, along with the Puka run back for week 17, like I don't want to miss on the stack, like especially whenever we're in crunch time at the end of our bullets. Like if we know we want that stack, go and get it. Like there's just no point in pushing that.
Yep. I think there's a couple interesting comments in the chat right now that I tend to be in lockstep with here. I think people are losing sight of the fact that like Mason's like just a flat ass handcuff. Even if we think he's going to mix in some capacity, like getting over your skis with a guy like that versus a guy who could actually win a starter's job is probably just bad. I mean, like him and Braylon Allen, probably a very similar tier. Mason, that is like, I'm not a huge Bucky Irving guy, but I do see the path to like he was so effing efficient at like Oregon and stuff like that that you just go ahead and take the guy who could compete with a job. Like Jordan Mason could be incredible, and he's never taken Christian McCaffrey's job, right?
Yeah, no, exactly. I think the best case scenario is he spells him a little bit, and maybe it's more of a timeshare than people think, but like the most Jordan Mason is giving you, I think, when Christian McCaffrey's healthy, is like 10 or 11 points during garbage time. Or maybe he gets like Christian McCaffrey 80-yard run to the 7-yard line or something, and now he needs spelled, and then Jordan Mason cleans up the dirt, does the dirty work.
Yeah. From a portfolio standpoint, like William has a decent thing here. If you've been a CD at one guy and you're going CD over CMC, like all season long kind of deal, that like the Jordan Mason, double down on the previous bet. I don't think you have to do it, as he's alluding to, but I do think it is a intelligent way to double down. I wouldn't get carried away with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%.
Nez, I'm kind of in lockstep with some of these notions of like a Doomsday would have been number one wide receiver in almost any other class, and he could usurp. And I love the route tree, like Matt Harmon's stuff on Rome is just incredible. Like I've made the comp like a bajillion times on this show that like why can't the Bears simply be ADP wise what the Texans are right now? Like if we just flip their ADPs at year's end when the actual results come in. I think if you're bullish on the Bears offense and you're bullish on them going Burr and being like top 5, that like Rome definitely outproduces Keenan this year.
I disagree.
Okay.
Disagree. Yeah. They can be good and Keenan can still outperform them. I think like if you are telling yourself that Rome outperforms Keenan on the season long basis, like I just think that you're not quite understanding the NFL. Like Keenan Allen is one of the best wide receivers we've seen. Like straight up, people just do not give him the respect he deserves. He's not fat. He's never been an elite athlete. He hasn't lost like we have no reason to believe that he's lost any of that, like what he does well, which is like being a technician, and getting open. And like
we're up.
If Caleb Williams can't get in the ball, I mean, then that's a Caleb Williams problem, not a Keenan Allen problem. Okay, wide receiver wise, I know we both like DeAndre Hopkins. He's my wide receiver of choice here, I think. If we went wide receiver, would you agree?
Yeah.
Then our running backs, if you want to go running back. 2 seconds.
Yeah, no, I like the Hopkins pick. We're locked for the Hopkins pick.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we got HN, so I probably don't want to double up on the Mostert stuff. Najee feels like a better click than Warren right now, even if Warren's going to be ready for week 1. I'm not overtly bullish in Warren. I'm kind of sad that they named Russ Wilson the starter, but I think it's better for the running backs. Yeah, I mean, like Aaron Jones feels fine. Najee feels fine. I'd be fine with Jamison Williams and finding some running back value later. And I'd be fine with pushing up Javonte Williams or Tony Pollard, because I think both of them had really good bullish news over the last week and a half that makes them kind of like in this tier. I would probably rank it like Jones, Mostert, Pollard, Javonte, Jalen right now. Relative to our roster, that's up for debate. I think Mostert just is off the table.
Yep. Yeah. So we have 4 pretty solid wide receivers here. I do think running back is our play here. I think I'm Pollard or Jones, unless you want to do Javonte. You want to do Pollard?
Yeah, I'm good with it. Yeah, I like Pollard more than Javonte, so you have to twist my arm to take redacted. I mean, we talked at the beginning of the season, and Pete talked at the beginning of the season as well, that we thought he'd be going way higher than this, and most is broken right for him this offseason, and he looked good in the preseason. So
yeah, no, I agree. I still think that he's still not going quite high enough. I think he should be closer to James Conner, and I think straight up I would take him over DeAndre Swift.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. Yeah. I mean, it's interesting to be bullish Bears offense and then not bullish Swift. But you are kind of bullish Herbert, so I guess that's something in isolation that's different.
And they kept 1 million running backs on that roster.
True. Yeah.
It's interesting. Yeah. Why did they do that? And they just had this. They were kind of cash rich, so I think they could just sort of throw some extra money around on the offense, and Swift was there. I mean, he's a good player, don't get me wrong. I'm just curious, I don't think they're going to be scheming him up a ton, because they have Caleb Williams and they have this star-studded wide receiving cast around him. Scheming up passes for your running back is what you do when your offense is mid,
right?
It's just not something. But
some Sean Payton bullshit.
Yeah, right. That's for the Broncos.
I mean, the other thing about that from a schematic standpoint, and granted the Seahawks offensive line wasn't very good and that sort of thing, is just the fact that Waldron we didn't know if Walker was a good pass catcher, but we kind of think he might be, especially with this new regime. And Waldron didn't scheme up much screen game shit for Walker, so why do we think all of a sudden he's doing it for Swift?
Yeah. I think that's very fair.
Interesting question from William here. Will there be a BadgeBros Brawl 2? We do not know. I'm sorry. I do not have the answer to that. We hope so, but with all these contests still to fill, and with all the Battle Royale stuff upcoming here, methinks we might see something in the Battle Royale lobbies that is BadgeBros adjacent, opposed to season-long potential. That might be one and done, but I do think the feedback was well received, and keep being outspoken about it. We appreciate you guys so much. Drop some comments about liking that one and stuff, because I do think we made enough noise that it could potentially be a mainstay next year.
Yeah, for sure. Everybody was. I mean, you couldn't possibly miss the feedback on that. That was just super cool.
That was a good Canadian story. Yeah, GA, I appreciate that, bro. Yeah, we really liked the format as well. I just got a question here, Nez, about the playbook. I can't imagine it filled that quickly.
No, they I don't. Must have been something wrong with the slate.
Okay, sounds good to me. We will have an answer for you momentarily on that. I will send a message right now, and we
are on the clock.
Okay.
My boy Josh Palmer not fell super far, but he did fall.
Is Ford there?
Ford is here. No, he's not. Caleb is here. I do love just doing this, or Palmer.
I'm good with Caleb. He's got Rome on the end, right? So we should take Caleb now.
Yeah, and then we can shut it down.
Yeah, I'm good with that. That's a fun QB room with Caleb and Kyler there. Yeah, 2 guys that I like that you got queued up there next. Wicks, if you want to shoot the moon with your 5th wide receiver position.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. Like in this room, I think you could definitely argue Wicks or Palmer here, because we have 4 pretty solid producers at wide receiver.
Yeah, I think I would take Moss. Moss looks like a tier break to me. I still like Moss. I'm bullish on just having a piece of that backfield in general. And when you start HN and Pollard, it's like pretty fragile. I kind of want like some guaranteed touches kind of guys.
Yeah, I think Moss has upside, right? Like what? Like I don't think it's impossible that like we both think that, and we're kind of in the minority in this. It seems like that we both think that Moss can play.
Mm-hmm.
What if he just like wins that job? And now he's on the field like way more than we expected, and he has the goal line work.
Mm-hmm.
I think Moss is definitely the play here.
I mean, they were throw heavy last year with Minshew, and he still led the league in rushing for like the first 8 weeks. Granted, the offensive line coupled with playing indoors is a probably better setup there for him last year with the Colts. But yeah, he's good in pass pro. They went out and they got him. They gave him a 2-year deal. Yeah. Chat is pumping in here that Holden thinks he's pretty sure it's full. Playbook filled. I will check my results in the drafts tab there. Drafts completed. Yeah, playbook. Playbook is full, guys. Yeah. Oh, that's interesting.
I don't see it.
So I see my draft. Okay, I'm going to hit the refresh button here. I see my draft, but then when I click here, I'll just show everybody. Add to stage. Yeah, there you go. Playbook bar is full.
Is it in the live tab already? Like, where did it go?
It's in completed.
I know. I guess I've just had so many goddamn drafts in my completed tab that I can't see it.
You could go slate specific though. So it is under its own slate at the base here. So all your season long stuff, and then at the base there, click that bad boy, and there's our team. So playbook filled already, which is incredible.
You think people are ready for BRs?
Yeah, people are big time ready for BRs.
Holy shit.
Yeah, you want to be bullish on BRs this season? There you go. Yeah, Moss could be, yeah. Easy, yes. I do know that I made the Dinger finals. We did a live sweat to see if we were in that. Numi ruined in a big way there, but I did find out that I had a team in there, and in true John fashion, #never-sweat, I know who's on the team, and I know Dansby Swanson is a little bit of leverage right now, and I know that I was doing well. And then Nez sent me a screenshot where I was in like second place or something. So now my heart's just going to break in 2 weeks when I finish 185th. But screenshots live forever. So 50K
don't even look, dude.
Dinger championship for me.
They give you that nice green winnings. Like it's nice and green. It's a deep green, you know, like they did some back testing. Like what shade of green really gets the monkey brain going? And like I tell you what, that shade of green with that winning is perfect.
It's a little darker. It's a little darker than usual, right?
Yeah, and it's like, oh man, like that's really hitting the sweet spot in the pleasure sensors. And let me tell you, that 750 winning, John, just looks an extra 250 in my finals earnings, baby.
What happens if I ship the Dinger? What should I do?
Give me half of it.
Oh, you already axed yourself out of that. You already had a Dinger's final team.
I'm deleting that stream.
I don't think we did it together though, but I might.
I don't think we did.
I don't think we did. We could go back and look though. But yes, Clay asking when the official BRs are dropped. I don't think there was a tease from the Underdog Drafts account last week that was some retweets circulating that implied that would be full slate of games dropping on this Friday. We will have a show ready. We will go live if that is the case. But I'm under the impression that was the plan from the Underdog Drafts account. Outside of that, I have no insider trading knowledge. Nez, let's take a look at who we want to pick here.
Yeah, so I just threw some running backs in the queue just for us to look at. We're good at quarterback, tight end, nothing that we need here. So it's like Jacoby Myers, Polk, Mike Williams, or these running backs.
Let's fuck around and take Polk because everybody likes Polk now and everybody likes this, talking about this sort of thing. Let's get a Polk share to make the community happy that we're fake sharp.
Okay, I'll give you that because we have the room, I think, to withstand the ups and downs that Polk is inevitably going to face this season. So I'm okay with it because you know what if what if Pat Corain's right?
That there's a very strong chance that
Wouldn't be the
right.
first.
Wouldn't be the first time Pat was right and I was wrong. But
yeah,
I mean I was the Polk bull when it originally came out, when they were kind of down talking his inconsistencies and that sort of thing, and Gretsch didn't have good things to say, the first ship chasing and stuff. I was the guy who was like, Polk was actually nice, so I probably should be drafting him. That's annoying that our Benson stack gets taken for no reason there. Maybe we could have taken him first, but I'm down to push up Michael Wilson here and just jump this running back tier. But if you think we need running back, it's up to you.
Okay, let's just see here. So our next pick is going to be 155. That's going to put us in a Braylon Allen, Khalil Herbert range. We can do that.
Yeah, I mean, I think Ty Chandler mentally for me is a little bit of a tier break because we talked about the Bucky Irving, like he has a little bit of standalone and then can steal a job kind of thing. I feel similar about Ty Chandler based on the way he played last year, that he is both contingent and could steal some touches or work his way into a workload. Whereas like some of the other guys that go behind, I view as like purely contingent, like Tyler Algier. You know, like I've been taking Ty Chandler over that grouping. So I do think it is like a little bit of a mental break. But that being said, man, a lot of those guys that we discussed earlier as Scroll the Eff Down guys are running backs. So if we want to get some leverage at this back end, like tacking on early production from Miles Sanders, Samaje Perine in the 16th or whatever we want to do, we can get some of those leverage pieces and pair them all together. So how do you do that? You push up Michael Wilson.
Yep. I love Ty Chandler, like you said. He's still one of the better picks on the board, but was just an absolute gift at like 150 for the majority of BBM season. Aaron Jones is just not the type of guy. I mean, great running back, just awesome running back, fucking crushed in the playoffs. He's just not somebody that you give a full workload to because he's had such a injury riddled past. Ty Chandler flashed some really nice stuff last season. I think he's going to work in a good bit this season, enough that he could hit your flex a good bit in the regular season with the contingency upside as well. That's just like not baked in, the upside that he gives you, plus the inherent value of him as a player, just continues to be one of the best picks on the board.
Yeah, maybe I wouldn't go like as high as like best picks on the board, but I definitely think he's a tier break there. Like I do see it in lockstep with you there. Corey, this is Chad and Alpha of its own. He's got 4 teams in the Dingers finals. Legit.
He removed that comment on the YouTube side. Maybe he was feeling a little braggy. He didn't want everybody to know. It's out there. We know.
Corey,
we get it, dude.
Corey, never change. Dunk all over everybody. Have fun.
That's what it's all about. If you can't victory lap your multiple finals teams, then what are we even doing this shit for?
Damn straight. Yeah, and then we talked about this one earlier, where how they released running back as well.
Mm-hmm.
Who was it again?
Kene Nwangu.
Kene, yeah, Kene.
I'm sure I'm saying his last name wrong, but that's phonetically how it looks.
Dude, you fucking nailed it. That was awesome.
I'm nails, dude.
I'm nails.
Yeah. We might have another nice wide receiver pick back to us. And if we do, I would love to take it and then shut it down at 7. And then we can throw some shit on the wall at running back. I love stopping at 7 wide receivers. I love it. If you take 7 wide receivers that you think are like good, like fuck your 8th wide receiver, dude. Take some upside shots at running back that you can potentially use to just crush your flex spot. If possible, I kind of want to do everything I can to fill flex with a running back. And yeah, good.
Well, generally speaking, I don't stop at 7 when I take McBride, Kyler, and Achane all in those first 8 rounds. Right. And then we took Caleb at 9. Like normally I would need like a stronger wide receiver room to stop at 7 in my mind. But yeah, let's see if your pick comes back here, and let's see if I can guess it. Let me guess it. If it
John,
I think you want McMillan here.
Yeah, dude. We have a huge Downs fall as well, and Downs did not hit the IR to open up the season.
Mm-hmm. Plus, Pete and the boys ruined Jalen McMillan. But I'm down to put two good UW boys together here. Downs.
Ooh, actually, I think I'm gonna audible. Ray Davis or Downs?
Downs.
All right.
He's got 4 running backs on the end there, and like Ray Davis.
I know.
Ray Davis had a nice preseason, but like,
I know. I think I fucked that up. A double tap of running back, I think, would have felt better there.
Yeah, but there's some names that we can add later, and if you want to stop at 7 wide receivers, it's probably harder now. I'm surprised you didn't pound the table for the Komet stack there.
Yeah, man, I've got pretty heavy Komet bags, and we have McBride, so like I'm not like too concerned about tight end 2 here, especially when this is like a really good pocket. Like I like
then take
these
Ray
3
Davis.
guys a lot.
Take Ray Davis. You wanted to take Ray Davis.
I don't even. Well, I like Ray Davis, but I also like these
Take
guys.
Take them.
More than Braylon? More than Braylon?
Yeah, take Ray Davis. Braylon's fun because he's young and he was crazy efficient at Wisconsin and that sort of thing. I mean, you want to talk about why Isaac Grando transferred? It was probably because of Braylon Allen. That's how good he was.
Yeah, Braylon Allen was 17 years old, stepping in looking like a middle linebacker. They're like, "Oh, like, are you the coach?" He's like, "No,
yeah.
I can't even buy a cigarette yet, and I'm here to take your job, buddy."
What's the age to buy cigarettes? I've never tried.
18, or maybe it's 21 now because of not to get political, but
Big Smoke.
Yeah,
I gotcha. Were you ever a smoke guy?
No, we would buy Phillies, like big cigars, really shitty cigars, and like we would smoke cigars at this like one pond in DuBois, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, that's a classic move. Actually, I got a big bag of like $500 worth of cigars sitting over there that I'm just like not even gonna touch, that were just given to me at the wedding, that like the boys were like smoking them and they're like, "These are the best," and I was like, I can't even tell the difference.
You would be the coolest dude at the ship chasing party if you
just bring them.
You just gave them out.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Maybe like scratch, like etch in them and just completely ruin them, and for branding, just type BadgeBros, and then everyone's like, "I got these sick $500 BadgeBros cigars. I can't get a fucking pull on them because John carved a hole into them." But
yeah, bringing it across the border is a nightmare, though.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
They don't trust you.
Yeah. Did I ever tell the one dart, like Nick's telling a story that he smoked a dart after winning the T-Box contest?
Fucking hilarious, considering that was a contest in honor of him quitting smoking.
Yeah, that's so good. If he's just trolling, that's so funny. Yeah, did I ever tell you the one time I probably had like a handful of smokes in my day, but like, we'd do the same thing as you, like the Swisher Sweets or whatever they were called, like the prime times.
Just to feel like a badass.
Yeah, those BS when you were chilling and you were young. Or like you're just like having campfire with the boys or that BS. Yep. But the only time I ever hacked a dart was with Bruno Mars. Did I ever tell you that?
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
He was going out to smoke. He was taking a smoke break from the table. He was a big poker guy, and we were playing in LA.
Oh, we know because he's in debt.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Anyways, he was always playing like the big games in LA, and then I was sitting beside him, and he was just like, "Yeah, we're going out for a smoke or whatever." And we've been chatting like all night and stuff. He was actually pretty funny. He was singing like this Alicia Keys song that he wrote, like "That Girl's on Fire," whatever, "That Boy's on Fire," whatever. He was singing it like every time he scooped a pot, he'd be like, "This boy is on fire," and like scooping in the pot and stuff. Anyways, he went outside to like hack a dart, and then he's like, "Anybody want to smoke break?" So I was like, "Oh yeah, I'll come out, man," or whatever. And I never fucking smoked or anything. Didn't even have any smokes or anything. And I was just kind of like standing on the side, and it was just like him, his bodyguards, and him like kind of on his phone, and then like 2 other guys from the game while the game paused. And then like the guys like I just took like a smoke from like one of his buddies or whatever and then just like I lit it up and I just like started coughing and shit like this. And they're like, "You don't even smoke, bro." And I was like, "Yeah, man, I'll smoke." And I just went back inside.
Bro, you don't even burn.
It's not that cool a story. It was just like smoking a cigarette.
Your name dropped bars on stream, buddy. It is what it is. Own it.
Yeah, I don't think I've told that story before.
I definitely did not know that you shared hands with Bruno Mars and got a sig from him. There goes fucking
We almost
McMillan.
got him back.
That was rough. This is the
That's
doll for
heartbreaking.
me.
Yeah. Do we have any correlation stuff there with New England or?
Yeah, we have Polk.
Yeah, sure. I'm good with it. Yeah, Vidal seems like a low key like buy the dip guy. You're not getting an ownership discount, but like now that we know he's on the roster, that he looked good in the preseason. Yeah, I'm good with it. We know that J.K. Dobbins.
Yeah,
has
no.
half a
I
calf
think it was. Yeah, like it's a good bet. They didn't cut him. They did draft him. He has good metrics as a player. The dip was just because like we got nothing from the Chargers camp. We just did not know if this dude was alive. There goes May, which is fine because I think we're good at quarterback.
Yeah, we're good at quarterback. Let's take some
really
Ajay,
sick.
man.
No, not yet.
Why not?
Because
Who else
I don't
you like?
want to. I like these tight ends.
Take Bigsby then.
You want to do Bigsby over like all of these like really nice tight ends for tight end too?
Yeah, because I just want Juwan Johnson and Tucker Kraft, or I want Tucker Kraft plus somebody.
Okay. I mean, that's fine. We have Trey McBride. It's no big deal. I'm just not used to seeing these tight ends available at pick 180. And I'm kind of a tight end whisperer, John. I don't know if you know this about me.
Ooh, how are you now? Talk dirty to me.
John, when has my game not been like the most projectable points that do nothing for you? Like that's always been what I'm good at is like, I know, I just know. And tight ends are the most like useless projectable points.
Yeah.
But I know who we want. And that range that we just saw was a bunch of guys that we wanted. Hunter Henry dip right now is just overly juicy. Conklin is a great pick. Jonnu, you're going to want Jonnu. Jawan is nice. I am now a little scared of Colby Parkinson, though, I will say. Like, is he just a first 4-week play once Davis Allen and Higbee come back?
Yeah, I mean, like, I think the timeline on Higbee isn't that. I don't think the Higbee timeline is that bullish, but Davis Allen one. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, Higbee got his shit blown up.
I was laughing in my mind there when you were talking about like, looking for the safest floor points kind of at tight end or like that sort of thing, because we have a team in the home league last night that is like just absolutely renowned for this. They're a tag team and they refuse to split up, and they are every single pick they make, I just laugh and say, nice 8 points, because they're the biggest floor guys of all time. Like the biggest, safest. It's a 2 QB league, and they're out here. They take like Gus Edwards, Tyler Lockett, Russell Wilson, like Tua, Geno Smith. Like they just take all these like mid floor guys with no spike, no volatility, no rookies. Like they just go out there and they just play the hits, like Amari Cooper's going to be on their team for sure. And like this sort of thing. And I was cracking up. I was like, this is the biggest Nez condom team I've ever seen in my whole life.
That used to be my thing, was like, I cared about like and I'm not alone in this. Like there's a lot of donks like me, John, and the fantasy football guys. They're like the biggest, obviously, podcasts in fantasy football right now, but they made a metric that was like a floor metric, literally, that was just like, who's a consistent player that isn't going to kill you? I'm like, this they might as well call this the Nez
model.
That is exactly what I was looking for. And man, oh man, like it just like there's so many fantasy owners think like that, it's just like it is like very funny, and it's so funny and managed. Like you actually shouldn't really think like that, because like you can just cut guys. So
right.
All right, Juwan Johnson's a slam mother effing dunk for us for tight end 2. I'm gonna do it.
This was the plan.
Yeah, this was. I'm glad that we did what we did. Now we have this awesome luxury pick here. I don't think it's a quarterback. Just wanted to check to see who was there, even though Will Levis stack isn't like the worst thing in the world with DeAndre Hopkins.
I think when we push Kyler on the other side of the board,
and Tony Pollard, so it's kind of like a whole team thing.
I don't know.
I'm just gonna
who
throw
else
him
is
here.
available? Who else is available? Like of the scroll variety?
Yeah, Pete did ask for a scroll, but I tell you what,
Pierre Strong?
Pete should have just been here. No.
Samaj AP Ryan? Well, there goes your Will Levis. Shouldn't have highlighted him. This guy's been taking every guy you highlight.
You're right. M Trim is definitely hanging with us. I'm gonna put him in the queue, John, but let the record show. I don't really want it, but
all right.
I'm just gonna throw it out there. Like I think I would rather have Cam Akers.
Okay. But did we make a Houston bet?
Good.
Did we make a Houston bet?
We have nothing. Yet? Yeah, we do have Diggs.
Yeah, I'm good with it. You could do the Cam Akers here. You could do Naylor. You could do Tucker Kraft and or Gerald Everett. You pick.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do Akers.
All right. He is on the cover, and Pete did allude to him being one of his favorite scrolls. I mean, we know that they don't
covers all our bases.
Yeah, we know that they don't like Dame Pierce in that run scheme, so why not?
Yeah, and I think the story that we tell for this team is like, I just want outs at some of these guys coming on late in the season to fill our flex, maybe even our RB2. I'd like our wide receivers a lot, but like, what if we just said like, I just need 3 of these guys, you know? And I don't think it's a bad thing to think about in half-point PPRs trying to win flex with the RB, but that's just me. I'll go ahead and give this a quick recap. Sorry, did you want to say something real quick?
Yeah, I was just going to ask, I just see one floating around in the chat. People are getting some things and stuff. Would you ever, our newest loyal listener, Drew, suggesting that the Taysom major usage and he's going to get paid. I took him in our home league last night as a tight end just to be like, shoot the moon with him as a tight end.
You got to take Taysom in home leagues.
Yeah, like that seems fun to me. Is there any thought in your mind that he would ever matter as a quarterback?
Weekly winners only.
Yeah, see, I didn't even take him in weekly winners this year just because I think like,
damn, dude, you've changed.
If he was a fucking tight end on our site like he was last year in weekly winners, I would have 50%. I would have 48% of him in because no one can break a slate at the tight end position like he can. But the problem is at quarterback, like, what are you going to do with 9 touches and 1 throw? It doesn't matter. He has to score 4 touchdowns to factor in on a slate, right?
Yeah, it's just harder to separate at QB position where there's so many like good scorers is the problem.
Yeah, interesting. Wute Kilby said he took him as a 3rd quarterback.
Oh, that might change my mind.
All
right, just to give a quick recap here: 2772 for us for our beloved audio listeners. Kyler Murray and Caleb Williams at quarterback. At running back, it's Devon Achane, Tony Pollard, Zach Moss, Ray Davis, Kamani Vidal, Tank Bigsby, and Cam Akers. I really like that running back room. At wide receiver, Puka Nacua, Stephon Diggs, Keenan Allen, DeAndre Hopkins, Jalen Polk, Michael Wilson, and Josh Downs. And at tight end, Trey McBride and Jawan Johnson. I really like building my teams like this, John, where, like you said, I think a lot of people would make this an eight wide receiver team just based on the draft capital spent. But I just like the bets that we made. These are veterans that one is a sophomore in Nacua, who just put up the best rookie season that we've seen from a wide receiver. And these guys are all veterans. If they're doing their job, then like we should be pretty set at wide receiver 2 and 3 through the course of the season. So I like taking the upside bets elsewhere in doing this that most people I think would find uncomfortable.
Yeah, I think there's smarter ways to do 2772. And when you push up Achane all the way to that turn, it probably should be a 5 or 6 running back build just in a vacuum. But the fact that we didn't take another running back until like pick 90 something, it feels fine to do it like this. And I do like your thesis of like win the flex, fire the running back, and do it in like a non-conventional. It's just weird to do it when we allot so much draft capital to a scroll the F up and then we hedge by taking 7 running backs alongside them, because effectively what we said at the start of the draft is not what we're saying at the end of the draft by saying like Achane is the guy you need. He's the high scoring running back. That's why we took him over Gibbs, etc. And then when we round it all out, it's, well, we also kind of need more running backs. So yes and no. I do like the argument that like we have stable, steady production through the wide receiver position, and then coupling that with some rookie shots or some breakout shots in Polk, Wilson, and Downs feels good. I think I would have gone 2-6-8-2 on this one, looking at it now from like 100-foot lens, and added one more wide receiver, and then just knocked off, Akers, Tank, or Vidal, like whichever one you didn't want of that grouping. But that being said, I think it's a strong, intelligent team. I like the 2 quarterback upside to it. I'm going 7.6 on this one.
I think I would push back a little bit on the Achane bet. Like, yes, the Achane bet is sort of talking out of both sides of our mouth with the way that we drafted. I think it's okay to acknowledge that this dude has no doubt like the best upside week to week for a running back, damn near. But like, I think it's okay to acknowledge that there are some season-long question marks for Achane. I mean, he was injured before the season last year, injured mid-season last year as well in the middle of the season, and it's not at the draft capital before where you could withstand that. You might have to like find a way to get Achane through. So while I do agree it's a non-traditional 7 running back build, we also, have Zach Moss, who, maybe needs some things to go right for him to finally, or to, overtake that backfield here. Ray Davis is not a sure thing. Like, these last 4 are just not sure things. So I think that it's totally fine to just add another not sure thing and just give yourself an out at like a guy that can be a strong producer for you, given the right things breaking his way. But I know that that's sort of like a gal brainy thing that I'm doing, but I feel like it makes sense though.
Yep. No, I think we're both right in our own accord. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, that checks out to me. I'm just looking what our guy Eli Mitchell, aka E White, was alluding to here. Jalen Waddle sidelined 4 weeks with his injury, no specifics known. He was in non-contact jersey the last week or so. Obviously hasn't played in the preseason. I'm not seeing anything on the Underdog thread just yet, but that's very interesting news.
Let me look. I know because he's been, like you said, in that non-contact jersey. Yeah, the latest thing that came out is he's wearing a compression sleeve around his calf. There's a million DPTs on Twitter. They're all sounding off on this, and the consensus is that they're not concerned.
Interesting. Okay.
It seems precautionary.
Precautionary, nothing official yet.
But it's weird that he hasn't moved. This is going under the radar, I think, by the lobby, because if we had the red news item,
he's been sidelined, so he's not to be sidelined for 4 weeks. He's been for this. Okay, got it.
Right, but it's weird that there's like if we had that news item button up on the site and people saw that, he would be tumbling. He would be like a pick 30 because that's where he was going before everybody pushed him up.
Yeah. I do not have a lot of Jalen Waddle in my life. I did not agree with the ranking of a lot of people pushing him up quite high on those corners, but yeah, interesting. What's up? You look shook.
You just keep running pure, dude. Dansby Swanson with a ribby just now. I mean,
it's my year for the dinger, baby.
Unfucking real. It was
hardly know her,
but he still gets a ribby.
Now straight, baby. Dansby's gonna cook this year. Fucking A, Dansby Swanson. I hate that guy too. Win me the dinger. All right, Nez. There's one last thing I wanted to hit on before we log off here. You got to be happy for me. You should be celebrating Dansby Swanson. Be happy for me.
We're competing, bro.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
I'm in there too. I'm way down there, but I'm in there too, dog.
This looks like a very cool additive from Underdog here. Coming next Wednesday, vulture protection to the Pick'em lobby there. So if we do get some Kyle Juszczyk falling into the end zone instead of our beloved CMC on the Pick'em pages there, that we will have some form of insurance by the looks of it from the good people at Underdog. That's kind of cool.
That's very fun. That's a cool. That's a really cool promo.
Yeah, I like that. Very, very fun. Yeah, this is a good show from Easy here. He's been a Waddle hater, but they only kept 4 wide receivers. He's probably fine. That is a good just macro thought to keep looking at the depth charts there, not only for which players are getting cut and how that impacts other people, but which players are left on the roster to comparatively consider. That's sharp.
Yeah, that's a really good point by Easy.
Yeah. All right, Nez. We will be back tomorrow. We got to do at least one more BBM. I imagine we'll touch on some baseball stuff tomorrow, but we'll have a full show tomorrow, kind of like last of the variety. You teased the fact that you might go live at some point, so keep your ears to the ground if Nez is going to hop on and do a members only stream. If you want to sign up and become a member, there's a link in the bio below to do so. Less than 1 battle royale per month to be a member there. And as football season progresses, you'll for sure get 1, maybe 2 members only paywall streams as the season goes on there. Up to almost 200 and something members here now. So you'll love to see it. If you are part of the 300 people watching right now and you have not liked, subscribed, retweeted, all that sort of fun stuff, help us grow, man. Help us grow. I don't chill this stuff as much as I'm supposed to or like to, but we're here every single day, every single weekday, 2 p.m. Eastern, whether it's live here or behind the paywall. And we'll be doing this all football season long, breaking down these battle royale slates for you guys. And yes, could be the Dinger Champs, out here.
We'll see, man. You're right. You got a hell of a start, dude. Hell of a start.
Shit.
Holy fuck, man. The Pirates are an absolute joke. They just blew the lead in the 9th. Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
So I'll probably do that stream for my last 2 drafts after ship chasing tonight. So I'll be on later tonight. I'll get it scheduled up so everybody can see it. It'll be a later night than usual for behind the paywall, but it'll be a members only. I'm gonna do 2 in a row back to back to end it out.
Nez after dark taking Marshawn Lloyd all by himself.
If he's going to 180 still, man, I might have to. I don't know.
All right, guys. Appreciate everyone being here. Much love to everyone in the chat for hanging out. Best of luck on the baseball stuff today. Best of luck with your dinger sweats, and best of luck in your final best ball drafts there before the big BR drops. On behalf of Nez, Pete, and I am John, everybody's favorite time of the show, the end. Peace.